Askreddit asks, what's the stupidest way you've hurt yourself? In high school I was showing off with a staple gun and accidentally stapled myself in the chest. Then, when telling the story later, picked up a staple gun to demonstrate and accidentally did it again. I am not a clever person.
At least you were consistent with your storytelling. Edit. Wow, thank you kind stranger for the silver.
Kind of reminds me of a story I heard about a teacher telling his class about the death of Socrates. And demonstrating what happened when you drink hemlock by drinking hemlock in front of his class. Didn't go too well.
I was being attacked by aliens in a dream. When they backed me into a corner I kicked one hard in the head. I woke up immediately in pain. I had just kicked my wall in real life. Badly sprained my ankle, couldn't walk properly for a week.
The alien was probably so embarrassed that you owned him, so he implanted that memory of you kicking the wall instead of his big dumb alien brain.
Wow. Most of the responses here sound more painful than stupid. But your one must have made you feel pretty silly afterwards, haha.
I've sneezed and had a sharp neck pain for a week after. This has happened more than once.
I threw my back out sneezing once. That was not fun.
My neck feels like shit after I yawn really hard sometimes.
A friend of mine once sneezed and got a collapsed lung. Spent a bunch of time in the hospital for it with a chest tube. Made me terrified of sneezing for ages.
Alright. So my sister is only 1 year older than me, and when we were very young, me 3 and her 4, we were in the bath together. I guess my mom thought this way was easier. She left to get something and my sister said that I should dive into the tub like a dolphin. Me, being the idiot toddler I was, decided this was a wonderful idea and dove right in. Had to get 3 or 4 stitches and a lifetime of stories told about it. I can hear the bonk from here.
Imagine walking away for 5 seconds, hearing that satisfying thunk, a slash, followed by the banshee cry.
I was finishing up this intense jigsaw puzzle, which was on a low table, so I spent the entire night crouching on the balls of my feet. The next morning, my right foot turned purple and swelled up to the size of a large orange. I was on crutches for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Excuse, but did you just say you ended up on crutches because of a jigsaw puzzle? I was 8 years old and running home on my lunch break so that I could watch Inspector Gadget, which came on at noon. I decided it would be neat to look down at my feet while I ran. And next thing I know I've run full speed into a parked car. I think I laid like a dead body on the road for a good 5 to 10 minutes. It hurt so badly. I was late for my Inspector Gadget episode and never told anyone what happened.
I know it sounds very Looney Tunes, but I actually stepped on the head of a rake once and the handle hit me in the face.
Annoyed Sideshow Bob groan.
Life imitates art.
Haha. Yeah, same. In my defense, it was in a very crowded shed. In my undefense.
Just realized I have one for me too. When I was in like middle school I was shaving my legs and then I brought the razor up to put it back in the shelf and I held it too close to my body and I cut my nipple open. Hurt so bad. Didn't tell my parents or see a doctor. Just had a swollen cut nipple for a while. Edit. Wow, I didn't realize I wasn't the only one. Thank you for all the comments. Some of these stories have made my skin crawl. Be safe, people.
Shelf OMG, I did this too. I didn't tell anyone. It's been 2 years but it still hurts when I shower. Edit. Ha 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 ha. For everyone asking why, Shelf, I accidentally highlighted the word from the original comment. I'm new to Reddit.
Jumped from the roof of our house when I was 10. To see if it hurts or I'll survive. When I landed it was like an electric shock on my feet. Edit. I survived, and yes, it was stupid, but when you're a child you tend to brag anything to your friends, so yeah. Did hurt like hell though.
I did the same thing except I used an umbrella instead of parachute, and when my friend asked does it hurt I said no so that he does the same.
Well, I might die, but I've gotta know. Ya know?
When I was 13 I was walking down my street and there was a bee that landed on me right under my eye. In a brilliant move I brain farted and punched myself in the face trying to swat it away.
I gave myself a black eye in my sleep. Rolled into the corner of the nightstand.
I've punched myself while trying to pull up my blankets while half asleep.
Ever had the power go out or had your machine turn off without waking up? It's like 10 times harder to breathe while it's off.
As a child, I kicked my bedroom wall whilst dreaming about playing soccer. Had a wicked ingrown toe for weeks.
My brother was teasing me while I was doing homework, think I was maybe 8 or 9 at the time, and after a few minutes, I snapped, took my pencil, and went to jab him with the eraser end, so as to not hurt him too badly and get him to shut up. To get a bit more force behind it, I decided to wrap my index finger over the other end, dot the end with the point. I'm sure you can guess what happened next. A lot of crying and a trip to the emergency room later. I had a pencil point being removed from my finger.
Reminds of the video of that fellow who tried to open a beer bottle with a bamboo skewer by smacking it in the bottom with his hand.
I tried to throw a dart into the bullseye on a dartboard that was on the floor, but threw the dart right into my left foot instead. A bar where I used to live placed dartboards about a foot away from the women's bathroom door. Dartboards that took regular, metal-tipped darts instead of the plastic-tipped ones.
Hit myself in the hand with a hatchet. It was so cold I didn't notice until I looked down and saw the blood.
When I as a kid I was chopping wood, missed the log and went straight into my rain boot.
Me too. I was dumb and thought it was a good idea to hold the long while chopping. Blood poured from my hand. I just looked at it and started laughing. My friend who was with me started panicking. Didn't feel the pain and was laughing at my mistake. When I was 5, I was rushed to the ER twice in the same week. First I slid down the banister as the door below swung open and I crashed head first into the corner of the door. Then 3 days later I was playing on the radiator. Slipped off. And smashed my head again. Doctors thought my parents were abusive and there was an investigation over it. Apparently.
I wonder if I can jump high enough to hit the doorframe with my head.
Suffering from success.
Yeah. I demand details. What happened?
I went to take a plate of Totino's pizza rolls out of the microwave. The plate was so fucking hot that I dropped it. Molten cheese bounced up and was burning through my ankle. I went to stick my foot in the sink to run it under cold water as if I am flexible enough to stand on one foot and get my leg up that high. I fell backwards and cracked my head like an egg. I had a 3rd-degree burn on my ankle. 2nd-degree burn on my fingers and 6 staples to the dome. For fucking pizza rolls at age 30.
High risk, high reward. You'll get your pizza rolls next time. I believe in you.
At age 30. That one sentence made this all the better.
I no longer have a toenail because the garbage was too heavy. I was taking the garbage out in sandals but the garbage bag was too heavy to carry, so I put it on my skateboard and rolled it down to the street. The tip of the skateboard lodged under my big toenail and ripped it off. 3 faulty regrows later, I just don't have a toenail on my big toe anymore. For all you freaks who want to see it, kind of gross I guess. URL redacted. AMMBGDMA.
I appreciate you answering this. But I'd still rather not have read that.
Drank from a glass bottle while walking. Knocked out a piece of my tooth.
Also knocked out the S in glass.
My dog jumped in my lap while I was drinking a beer and he chipped one of my teeth with the bottle. I couldn't even get mad, he was so adorable. That's the partial list from one missing tooth. When I was about 16, I was telling some story to my sister's boyfriend. I was rather animated about it and began to flail my arms about. Until I hit the glass fixtures of our ceiling fan and showered glass upon myself. Part of the glass cut around my nose and I began to rain blood. Was left with a nice scar and a decent story about situational awareness while speaking.
I was listening to music while getting ready to cook dinner and decided to use a frying pan as a mic. Did one of those look away from the mic to take a breath moments only to turn back dramatically at a powerful lyric and hit myself in the face with the pan.
I can envision it, and am impressed. Thank you for the visual.
I'm imagining the sound this made and I can't stop laughing.
This one's my favorite law.
Not about me but someone who sat next to me in a class a while ago. She was clipping her toenails and a big toenail flew up and hit her in the eye and she had to go to the doctor cause it cut her eye. So she has a bandaged eye for a while lol.
Okay, I've had a similar experience. I was clipping my fingernails one time and one flew into the corner of my eye. Not too bad. My dad got it out with a toothpick.
That's some karma right there for clipping toenails in class.
Happened 6 years and 3+ days ago. Was home alone early afternoon. Believed I was home alone. But then I heard a noise that I thought was inside the house. No one else should be home but me, so I was spooked. I crept out and listened for movement and thought I heard a voice downstairs. I tried to sneak down the stairs but only made it to the first step. By the second step my heel slipped out from under me and I planted hard on the step and slid down to the last 3 steps. Finally able to stop. My shoulder was sore trying to save myself on the rail. My back is beat to hell from hitting all the steps down. My ass. My tailbone is pulsing nothing but pain. Trying to get up made it worse. Nothing felt broken. I was able to get up after a minute or so and baby step around the corner where I found the source. It was my neighbors talking in the backyard. And brother had his window open allowing it to carry into the house. For 5 years if I sat longer than an hour my tailbone coccyx hurt. Watching movies, which I love, was always troublesome. I got seat cushions for it that I couldn't go without at home. About 7 months ago it just stopped. No more pain. Edit. From another comment about it. A few months after the incident I was diagnosed with kidney failure and was on dialysis for a month shy of 5 years when I got a kidney transplant. Throughout my whole sickness I talked about the injury with doctors. Had scans. And of course detailed look because of the transplant. No fractures were found. At worst, I had a mini fracture. At best, the excess fluid was exacerbating it. After the transplant I've taken it as a strong possibility that it finally healed thanks to no excess fluid hanging around. One of the small reasons I opted for peritoneal dialysis over hemodialysis.
As a security guard I was running to deal with an issue and my flashlight came out of its pouch, went between my foot and the ground. Stepped on it and broke my ankle.
Paul Blart immediately thought the same.
As a kid I saw a rabbit on the other side of a fence so I tried to climb over. Knowing full well it was hot wire. Naturally I fell off the wood between the wires and damned near electrocuted myself when I fell onto the wire. Never did get a hold of that stupid rabbit.
That pesky wabbit.
FYI, unless you have a heart condition already. An electric fence is extremely unlikely to kill you. Hurts like hell but shouldn't kill you.
Buried at the bottom so I am safe. I was at work in a high-stress office complex in Virginia. The work made you eat quickly and often at your desk. I was eating a baby carrot and tortilla chips. When all of a sudden I get stabbed with the edge of a chip midway chewing a carrot. Blood all down my throat, the chip was sharp, and I turned blue choking on baby carrots. Good times nearly getting killed by a chip and a carrot. Learn to slow down when eating. Edit. Of course my top comment of my account, 10 years old in February 20, is of me choking on a baby carrot. Thank you kind stranger for the gold. I laughed at all the comments and hopefully those around me haven't figured me out yet. No one is safe on Reddit.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day you marvelous people.